Hello world, I'm Farsight, and welcome or welcome back to Techtonica. And we continue here at the science base. You'll notice that the composers are different. I realized as things started to grow that with the composers with a 3-cell gap between them, I was going to have some problems with getting the maximum packing of these guys. So I stopped and I put down one composer dead center in the waterfall. And I let it go until it was full because I was able to place all of the nodes very quickly after that. I actually climbed all the way up to the grid rock at the very top and reclaimed all of the nodes. And we put down a composer at the bottom, built the whole thing. And then I put a composer behind it and in front of it, so east and north and south of it, just overlapping the composer enough with where the old composer was so that they joined up. And got those two to where they were full, where they weren't accepting anymore. And for the last 6, I can do that corner and that side until they come up, and once they're done, I can reverse it, do that corner, and the side where I'm standing. And at that point, we will have filled up this whole area with 5, 10, 15 nodes on a side going up until it runs into ceiling. No, I'm not going to climb up there and start digging because at this point I have opened up everything I can for this tech level of Victor and for this tech level of X-ray, and I wound up with 2,160 purple nodes, purple cores uncommitted, and 407 blue cores uncommitted. So if it looks like I need more than that, I will have to find someplace else to put some cores, or I'll have to dig. One or the other. The other thing I did was I took out the ability for purple cores to be sent to the composers. I don't think we're going to need more than that. Later we can put it back in. And that allowed me to cut off the third production line of purple cores. We don't need them. 2 machines making purple cores keeps up neatly with 1 machine making blue cores. You'll also notice that all of our numbers are slightly higher because our assemblers have been upgraded. And while I was working on it, everything came to a stop because these 4 chests, I'm dumping things in at the end, so any unconsumed stuff of these 3 intermediates that I'm sending back here got boxed up. Well, boxes started filling. So we now have boxes over here. There used to be a power floor under them. I took that away because I don't really need it. So we have quite a lot of explosives and a full box of sugarthorn extract, which we're continuing to get faster than we can use it. And there, and you see these extracts are going to come in handy when we start working with Atlantean. I don't know in what ratio. And of course, we're going to be using these for fuel for the chunk miners. So that's what we got. Before we continue onward with chunk mining and all of that stuff, I thought now would be a good time for us to string some electricity between Hydro and Victor. We're going to start from here and I'm going to go down the river until we get to Victor. And I want to put up a monorail. Now, the primary purpose of this monorail is so I can get back and forth quickly. Let's just admit that right up the thing. It's a transport mechanism for me. But the question is, what do we want to move back and forth between Victor and Hydro? Now, Victor and Hydro both have their own iron supplies, and they both have their own copper supplies, so I'm not going to move iron and copper. I'm going to leave that TBD, although it's tempting. Our copper area for Hydro is closer to Victor than to Hydro. It's kind of halfway. So we may set up a monorail port there at the copper mine and send fuel down and send copper back to here. I also want to think, do we currently have anything happening at Victor? And what do we want to have happen there? So repairing Victor, we'll put up the 2 repairs. So at Victor, I would like to be producing iron frames and copper frames. So we're going to keep going with stuff there. Conveyor belt Mark II. We're going to have to bring in Atlantum in some form or another. Well, 200, we can hand carry a single load of Atlantum ingots from wherever. So Victor will be making copper frames, iron frames, and processor units the next time we revisit that. And he also needs to be connected to power. So when we connect this up, I'm going to be connecting the Hydro grid to the Victor grid. We'll also have to go around back and connect Victor itself to its grid. So let's get started. I have... Let's see. I have whole hot bars that are... auto-filled, actually, is the word. So I'm going to do 3 and 4. Let's see. I'm going to want my little power floor and parts there. I am still going to want my equipment 1, 2, 3, just like that. We do not yet have a rail runner because we need 15 Atlantum ingots to make it. Looking forward to that. So there's our start. So power counts as logistics. I'm going to put voltage steppers in on, let's do F5, and wires are on 5. Just like that. Now, monorail depot 6, and we're going to put him on 6, and I'll put that on F7. So F7 is going to be these guys. Don't know how many of these I need. Don't know how many of those I need. We'll find out, and I will make more as time goes by, and they require plant matter frames and iron and copper. Let's make sure we've got plenty of those going into this build. But plant matter frames, I don't think I'm stockpiling them here. I may be stockpiling all that stuff at Victor. Certainly I'm stockpiling iron and copper at Victor. I don't think I've got boxes of iron and copper out here at Hydro. But step 1 is to get the electricity made. So we're going to start with trying to get electricity from here. We're going downriver. Oh, apparently I can place these underwater. As far as I can. So high voltage cabling underwater. And for some reason I can't connect there. I think all things considered, because the bottom of the river goes up and down, it's going to be a challenge to connect to it. So we will go down the riverbank. where I can actually look and see if I have clearance. Okay. Which means I need at least a little bit of space along the bank. Oh, let's see. I have the ability to go to a 5x5 or up to a 5x9. Let's go to 5x9 and carve out along the sides of the river. And I probably should have done this site prep before starting to record. So far it's not slow. And I can run this down a ways and then run my power and run it down other ways and run my power and so on. Overheated. Oh, I am out of coolant. Makes more coolant. And I am suspecting that I will need to pick up more Shiverthorn extract, yes. Well, we just saw that I have an enormous amount of Shiverthorn extract. Now I'm going to pull it out of the box over here. Let's just queue up all of that. So that'll just keep making Shiverthorn extract for us. If I need to make something else, I can cancel that build. Ack. I did not build this base to be able to run through quickly. Aesthetically, is this good? No. I'm going to bring it down the beach. Let's actually make it kind of not stretch across the water like that. There we go. We still have to go back and harvest out that whole area back there. Not yet, though. Don't need it yet. I think it's easier to carve this out coming up from below. You see, I already laid out kind of a runway for my power line here. I could do the same thing here, bring it up this side. I'll erase that. I'm going to bring my power up along this beach here. So we're coming along the left-hand side as we go upstream, which means somewhere we're going to cross over. Just need to bear in mind to pick a place to do the crossover. This whole area in here is all, water's all at the same level until we get to here and it goes down. So down to here. And turn around to go back. There are some rocks the mule doesn't take out, but if you go to a pickaxe, boom, just pops them right off. So sticking close to the edge of the river, and we will raise our floor as we get to areas that are protected like this. cutting area is now deep in the ground. That's all right. I think that's all protected area in there. Is that right? I think I am too far away from the river to be protected area, so I'll just do a flat spot like there. There we go. That gives us a reasonable beach area over here. And we can lay out a small area there for our guy. And we're just going to put him right like that. We are going to follow the river. Too bad our choices of where to put this are limited. I like the idea of using that mechanism. The nodes are right on the edge of the river, and so this is protected area. We would have to go high to get there. I think here is where I'm going to go to this. And we start downhill. I'm going to put one at the top. That. And I'm not stretching these as far as they could go. We can get rid of this whole power floor. Notice I kind of carved this out thinking I would just run it straight. But then I realized if I was just going to run straight this way and straight that way, that kind of removes the whole motivation to have it along the river. That's better. I mean, we're still carving out like crazy, but at least we are following the contour of the river rather than just carving straight through with a straight line. And onward. So you see here, this is why I'm thinking about putting in a monorail station here to receive fuel and send back copper, kind of substituting for all of the belts going up that way. And with that in mind, I'm going to basically carve all of this out at this level. I am using the 9 high tunneling. But when I saw the tunneling was 5x5x9, I thought the 9 was going to be the forward component. Turns out it's 5 forward and 5 to the side and 9 high. Is that protected stuff? No. Okay, that was just me not having my tool in the right place. That little spur is protected. Interesting. Now, for doing this, this means that I could bring power up to this guy. I like it. I'm going to open out this whole area here so that this copper mine is open to the water. So we're going to be severing ourselves from the remainder of the world here. I want to cut the power connection and reestablish it on my own terms. So let's see if I am coming over from here. This is just to space things out properly. We're going to use some stairs to move our level down by 2. Like that. Is that really how I want this? Oh, not really. I will keep power under the inserters because they may become inserters that need power. So here we go. We need a voltage stepper like that. And I'm going to bring my stairs down beside the voltage stepper. And get rid of this. I wonder if that connects. The answer is, it appears to. So with the voltage stepper in place, we should be able to sever stairs. And indeed, we have a problem. So this does not actually connect. There we go. So, this copper mine is now being powered from the from Victor. We see that Victor has over 9 megawatts. It's doing just fine. We're going to have way too much power when we're done. Just a quick check after all the upgrades. Our mines are turning out 60 per minute, but we're only using yellow inserters here. These guys can accept 45 per minute. So we could get another 10% performance out of these by upgrading our inserters. Let's see here. So this is on these guys. So these can move up to 80, so we'll be able to drain this guy as fast as he wants him. He only wants 45, so 60 to 45 means we really need 4 of these guys per 3 of those guys. I will not reorganize this yet, but at some point we may want to build an optimized mine that has these in ratio of 4 to 3. I think I have upgraded these guys as far as they go at Mark 1. What if we drop a Mark 2 in? Can I make a Mark 2? Mining drill Mark 2 takes 0.6 of a megawatt. I'm going to make one and put it in. Oh, and while I am standing here, let's offload all of that copper here. Yeah, his output, he could output 23 per minute. I have a cat playing under my chair. She's run off. She's weird. She has probably batted one of her toys under my chair. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to cancel the crafting before I try to craft something. We'll go back to making coolant in a moment. So looking at my handcrafting cube, I am motivated now to start putting some intermediates into boxes so I can stock up on intermediates when I'm building things by hand. This is more in line with the way I play Factorio, so we're settling into the old model again. Turns out she was playing with the microphone cord. Every time I moved my head, it would jiggle the cord a little bit. So if I start stocking intermediate parts, then we're good. Oh, there it is. One of her little cat toys was just right under my feet. There she goes. So I can't build directly from my my inventory. I have to put it on the hotbar. So I've put it there on F1 for now. And apparently this requires more space, because I can't place it there. Let me see. So it takes up a 3x3 area like that. Which I think is the same. Maybe it's just because I didn't have a floor in the corner there. F1. There we go. So this guy is producing 90 per minute. And it has 3 doors that we could use for removing. So this guy can feed 2 of these guys. So it's really, this unit right here is only here as a demonstration. I'll leave it here as a demo. So that's what we can do once we get too much. Before we redesign, however, there are probably upgrades to the smelter. Let me take a look. Do I have any I can build yet? No. How about technologies? This is in synthesis, I believe. So we've got smelting speed 2, smelting speed 3. Smelter Mark II will happen the next time we upgrade Victor. So we don't want to be reworking this until we upgrade Victor again, so we can get Mark II smelters, which probably don't require fuel. That's going to be nice, being able to take all of our mining away from burning stuff. Anyway, so there we have it. We've powered this guy. We're still using the belts back and forth because we haven't started running our monorails. The monorail track actually has 2 rails. It's still monorail because it's 1 rail going each way. At least that's my headcanon. And if the graphics shows little units connecting up to 2 rails, then I will be severely disappointed, and I'm going to file a bug against it saying you should not be using the word monorail to describe a vehicle that attaches to 2 rails. Any more than you can have a bicycle that has 4 wheels. So going up here, I'm seeing that the protected area is rising very quickly. In fact, this nub right here appears to be protected. So what I will do is I will route either around or through that nub. I think the cable can flow right through it, which may or may not be acceptable aesthetically. So I think, is that protected? Oh, good. But this little corner bit here, this is. Once I have carved this out, we will come back with the power cables and work out where we can place our little junction boxes and where we can route the cables so that it doesn't look too cheeky. So if I am bringing it up this side, maybe I can just route it all the way up this side instead of on the other side. Just like the idea of trimming down the beach area on both sides of the river to give us a little more room to work. And if not more room to work, it'll at least make it look a little open and airy. And it might be a great place to stand while I'm trying to lay things down on the other side. Yeah, that works. I can just bring my power right up along here. How far do I think I'm going to trim this back to about here. So we're taking this really curvy area we've been building in, and slowly but surely it is being widened and flattened and squared up. Not sold on whether this is a good thing. My original vision was actually to have just, you know, the power taking up this cavern and then digging back into the walls. But we've already built enough that we've kind of destroyed the scenery in here. Oh well. The power's going to come from here. Let's draw it from here all the way back to here-ish. I'm going to lay this out. No, I'm not. I was tempted to lay it out that way. What I will do instead is end. There we go. F5. And there's, okay, so there's our power connection to the power grid here. You draw it out this way. It's going to be along the river. Just like that. Yep, all the way out there. I could put it up on top of that little protected area. That'll work. get it all the way down there? I don't think so. There we go. We are now connected. So now if I go here and pick this up, I see I have 28 megawatts. We have connected the power planes of Victor and Hydro. We now have all the power we want because both of those locations have a lot of water available. We can put down a lot of water wheels and a lot of crank generators. So we are good until somebody changes the scale of what we're building by orders of magnitude. Now, we're going to be placing things down that require a substantial fraction of a megawatt. That may happen sooner rather than later. Next thing I want to do is experiment with the monorail stuff. So, monorails. I can place a monorail here. I think what I want to do, though, I want to place it so it conflicts with where I'm going to be putting water power. I want to put it above that. Now, I've had problems in other saves with certain areas, certain volumes of this space that are above the old water wheels, so I probably don't want to be counting on that. I would love it if my monorail for my personal transport kind of dropped me off in the middle of everything. So how about I put the personal monorail port like here. So I'm going to put my flooring down on the top of the accumulators. That sets the vertical level, powered. And I do not know what I'm going to be bringing in. Really don't. Maybe we'll tear this down and put something else in later. But the monorail port has all of those I think that's the direction that the rails go. So he's got items to send, items to receive. Six slots each. We have unpacking of incoming items. We have preparing to send outbound items. We have next batch. Interesting. So rails themselves are on 6. So the monorail tracks want to go down. Let's see. Does this let me raise them? No, it doesn't. So right now I'm going to say that this area here is not going to be getting monorail. So if I put the poles down, can I raise the pole? Are my monorail heights fixed? V for variant. We can rotate it. Once I have placed it, it then has monorail track. Okay, it sounds to me like my monorails are at a fixed height above whatever terrain they're being built over. And I would have to build platforms manually to put them at a different height, which gets awkward. So, rather than starting up high and having to work my monorail around the corners, well, why not? let's do a grand tour thingy. So I start from here. I'll bring my monorail track down the edge here. F6. The monorail track will just come right there. And I will worry about moving cargo on and off later. Probably need some space around it to stand on, because I'm treating this as a passenger monorail system. Let's give ourselves 2 of these guys. So he's coming out dead on this line. So monorail track starting from here. Maximum length is to here. And once you've placed one, you're placing a continuation of it. I'm going to come to here and make a turn. It rotates by 90 degrees at a time. So, does that mean I cannot set up monorail track going northeast and southwest? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to have him head off that way. Yeah. Oh. This is not a walkable factory. We're starting from here. And I can walk on top of the rails. Oh, that's good. So from here, I'm going to be heading out this way and to the right. That. Six to get the monorail track going. Hold on. I can get a little further diagonally. Head to... yeah, head to here. Careful, I don't want to wipe out stuff below me. I think at this point I want to start going downward. So it could very well be that my next track Why was that trying to go so low? Bring it down that far. Down and turn this way. Not gonna lie, gonna be disappointed if the pylons have to be powered. So can I bring my monorail down above wires? It's kind of pointed the wrong direction for it. Really want to bring it over here. Yeah. That makes a better looking swoop.
Local signal deciphered. Ingress IT 9928. Report to production terminal radio for triangulation.
Okay, we can either drop what we're doing and go get it, or I can finish off the monorail track. I think I'm going to finish the track real quick. Well, not real quick. I'm going to finish the track and we will go get that in the next recording. Just enough clearance on this side of the stream to build that monorail track. Not worried about vertical because we're running 10 high with this mule. 9 high. IT stands for. Okay. Bring the tracks down further. This is an opportune place to shift to the other side. So, I don't know how to make junctions yet. I don't know if they're on research or if it's not possible, but it looks like tracks go from one depot to another depot. And if I want to have multiple things coming into a hub, I need to have one track for each destination. Which means that if I want this to carry my plant matter, my fuel, and my copper, I can't take it all the way to Victor. We'll have to worry about that later. This is actually working out pretty well. The monorail track is going to be a little bit curvy and freeform, which is what I wanted. Oh, and we can talk to Victor when we get here. So, this monorail track is going to be here. Like there. Can I connect that up directly? No, I can't. We are going to bring it down here. Invalid click. Why is that clicking at me? Okay. However it works. So we have our monorail done. We don't have the monorail riding thing yet. I don't have anything to send back and forth yet. Now I can walk on top of this, which is kind of cool. But IT, let's see. I'm going to park it here. I'm going to call this a recording. And when we come back, I will start with chasing down IT. Until I get back, have fun.